Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and Country Wood Products. Sitting here by my mill, and as you can see, it's way too high off the ground. What I'm doing today is I'm sawing what you would call cants. I'm sawing big pieces of wood that are going to go under here, under this mill. I'm going to drop the mill down onto these, and these will be flat on the ground. So I want to go between 10 and 12 inches high. And I'm thinking 12. I'm cutting some of these whatever I can get out of the tree. So there's two 9x6s stacked, so I've got 12 right there. These came out to 9x10. So if I need to, I can put 2 inches on top and have a good wide support on the floor and get my height. I think 12 is what I want, but I can be flexible here once I get it up. But the reason for this video is to show you why I need a bigger mill if I'm going to be sawing lumber in any quantity for commercial purposes. That baby mill is amazing. I love it very much. Let me take you over there. I love my Woodland Mills, so don't get me wrong. I love this mill very much. It has served me well and has only had wear and tear items that needed issues, except for the hand crank, which I'll go get to in another video. But the problem is, this is not a high production mill, and I'm going to show you in real time. The only pausing I'll do is for repositioning the camera, but I'm going to show you in real time what it takes to get a log on the mill manually, get it sawn up into the cants I need, and that alone is a process. That's it. It doesn't sound like much, but that's a process. So stay tuned. I'm going to saw up a log, and I think then you'll understand everything. By the way, I'm going to mute the volume during this section. The guys are working on the roof. The mill's going to be loud. I'll just type notes as we go along of what I'm doing and what makes me think about what can be improved. And if you see something that I can improve on in this manual process, please feel free to write that down in the comments. Tell me what you think. I know I'm a little bit spread out here. I could do better. I'm working on improving my speed of handling lumber, but then again, the big mill is going to take and change all that anyway, because you'll see how this is all manual and a lot of physical labor and just full hands-on, whereas that mill is going to bring the board back, drop it on a roller table, and it'll flop off onto a cart. I won't even have to touch it. But let's get going. First of all, I need my gloves. And then, because it's a little mill, and sawdust and tree bark and particles can throw off your cut, I have to sweep the bugs in between every cut, after every log, and in between every cut. And it only takes a couple seconds, but all that makes a difference in the end. My dogs are already up, so that's fine. Now I'm going to have a loading dock on the big mill, so I won't have to do this with every log. I set up my 2x4s, real meaty 2x4s. There's a ramp. Grab my cant hook. Now this is a big log. Now this log is going to give me trouble. I got to change the camera angle. Now I'm doing this in real time, guys, so you'll see what I'm dealing with. If this was I don't know, there's a branch in that one there shouldn't be. I have to pivot this log. I don't know if I can lift it and pivot it, but we'll try. I'm going to try. If I'm lucky. Oh yeah, good. There's enough tree bark on the ground here that I can do it. Now normally, that would have been done with a tractor. And this probably wouldn't have been an issue either. I did not know this was here when I started this video clip. me reposition. So except for a couple seconds here and there moving the camera, this is literally what I go through every day, all day. And this is a loose tree bark in this one. This happens to be a big log too, so it's a good example for a video. How much manual labor goes into this. Now, with this mill, I could have used a tractor, but in this case, I've got logs lined up already, so I can't. Another good example, I get jammed up on the dog. This is a perfect example of what could all go wrong. I'm making a job harder on a big log. Alright, I always keep this against the wall. And now I can manually clamp the log in place. All that takes time. With the other mill, that's going to be quicker. All right, now I'm going to run the mill, and I'll show you. I'll just be making notes on the screen for you to see what I do as I go with the mill running. So, I don't know how long that took. It'll be good for me to analyze this video later and see what I can improve, actually, and how long it took me. And I didn't even saw this into lumber. Now imagine if I'm cutting, you saw how long it took for a pass, and I'm going to check that when I review this video. This is only a 21-inch cut on this mill, and this started out around 14, I think, the log. So it's pretty close to its high end of what it can do. And for smaller logs I can zip right through, but as you get bigger you can see how slow it goes through the log. And the big mill is just going to buzz right through them quicker, I believe. So this is what I need for the base for that. I've got it sewn up. But again, imagine doing that each pass another 9 more times through here to get your 1x10 lumber out of this log. It takes a while. It takes me 30 minutes to an hour to process a log into lumber from start to finish. So that's all manual labor. Now, you'll notice I got my head down the whole time while I'm pushing that mill. The reason for that is I'm going by feel. I've learned you can push faster or slower based on the resistance as you're going. If you hit a knot, you really want to slow down, or you can get a dip or a wave in your log. The blade will actually wave and dig in and jump back out. So you really got to go by feel. With a big mill, it's going to rip right through that sky. This is a 9.5 inch, and that's 22. More than double the engine, bigger blade, bigger everything, just more powerful, bigger, tougher deck. That can do around a 30-inch log. It's just more everything. So the dogs, sorry, I got sawdust. I've got bigger ones with a nice little slope on it. And that's what I use for rotating a log. But because I'm on the ground here, I have to be careful that I don't hit these with the saw blade. That's why you see me switching out from time to time. Sure, I probably could do a couple more cuts on that, and it's close, but why take a chance? So I always switch out as early as I can, and then I run it with a little bit of backstop. Actually, with a big piece like this, I can drop them down to the ground. Those small ones, here's a good example. These ones here, I'll go half height on them, and then until I get down lower, and then I can drop them all the way to, I think they're 3/4 inch height. But you can see the difference on them. These are so much better for rotating a log. Here the log snags and catches, and it's a nightmare. So you'll see me switching them out a lot too all the time. But there you have it, guys. As I edit, I'll go back through and make notes where I see fit. This is what it takes to process a log on a small mill like this. Great mill, never fails me. I love it very much, but it's not a commercial production mill. So please do subscribe, hit that like button, and also hit the notification icon to get updates of every time I upload a video. Otherwise you won't know it, because there's a lot more coming. I'm building that beast, and it's going to be running soon. Talk to y'all later.